From peaceful marches to guerrilla tactics, protests around the globe have made their voices heard in some of the most unique and bizarre ways imaginable. Whether it's a nasty blood protest to an awkward kissing protest, these unusual displays of dissent will grab your attention. So come with us as we explore some of the most bizarre protests ever witnessed on our planet. We'll take a closer look at what sparked them, where they took place, and how they were received. 10. Blood protest. In 2010, Thailand saw a wave of demonstrations demanding new elections throughout Bangkok, leading some protesters to pour donated blood outside government headquarters as part of their statement against political corruption and oppression. Several supporters cut open their veins to deliver literal representations and warnings about violence while reminding politicians that they chose between good and evil, life and death, liberty and suppression, freedom and captivity. Hundreds upon hundreds of people poured out liters upon liters on government steps until it stained them red from top to bottom, making a statement that could not be surpassed. As news outlets captured images symbolizing true revolutionaries ready to sacrifice regardless of consequences, the images gained worldwide attention. 9. Spraying milk protest. The 2009 farmer protest in Brussels was a demonstration of rural Europeans' anger against the policies of the European Union. Over 2,500 farmers gathered in the Belgian capital to express their discontent with regulations that they felt were unfair and severely limiting their ability to make a living. While some farmers opted for more violent tactics such as burning hay and tires, throwing bottles at police, and even pelting officers with chickens, other farmers took a more creative approach by spraying police with milk from a cow's udders. This was certainly an unconventional way for protesters to show their displeasure over EU regulations. 8. Protesters throw dirty diapers. In 2017, Mexico was in a state of turmoil as protesters took to the streets to voice their frustrations with the government. One of the most notable protests occurred when a group of individuals decided to take a unique approach to expressing their dissatisfaction. They slung 1,000 dirty diapers at the offices of President Enrique Peña Nieto's ruling party, Partido Revolucionario Institucional, PRI. The protesters were angry with the government for what they perceived as unfair policies and actions. They felt that the government was not representing their interests and was not doing enough to address the problems facing the country. In an effort to make a bold statement and grab the attention of the government and media, the protesters decided to use slingshots to throw dirty diapers at a government building. The use of dirty diapers as a form of protest was not only a creative way to express their disgust and disappointment with the system, but it also highlighted the frustration of people with the lack of basic services and infrastructure in the country. 7. Palestinian Blue People. In an effort to raise awareness for their opposition to the Israeli-Palestinian border wall, a group of Palestinians decided to adopt a unique form of protest. They painted their faces blue and dressed up as the Na'vi, the fictional race from the movie Avatar. The group believed that the barrier represented a land grab by Israel and that their own situation mirrored that of the fictional characters. They wanted to bring attention to the fact that just like the Na'vi people, Palestinians were being displaced from their ancestral land. The blue face paint symbolized unity in the common struggle. Unfortunately, their protest was met with tear gas from Israeli authorities, with no resolution to the issue at hand. The Palestinian activists were met with a violent response from the Israeli military, and many were injured. The protest was not only met with physical force, but also with social media backlash and accusations of cultural appropriation. 6. Extinction Rebellion protest. Extinction Rebellion is a protest group that was established in 2018 by British activists who were concerned about the effects of climate change. The group's main objective is to use civil disobedience to pressure governments to take action to curb changes to the Earth's climate, end consumerism, and prevent social collapse. The group's logo is an hourglass, which symbolizes that time is running out. The Red Rebellion group has participated in various anti-capitalist and anti-consumerism protests, including a recent demonstration on Black Friday where they marched through the streets of Vancouver with a coffin to protest excessive consumerism. They also recently used a fire truck to spray fake blood on the UK Treasury building as a form of protest. 5. SlutWalk. The SlutWalk protest was sparked by a controversial statement made by Toronto Police Constable Michael Sanguinetti on January 24, 2011. In addressing the issue of campus rape, Sanguinetti suggested that women should avoid dressing like sluts in order not to be victimized, drawing widespread criticism for promoting a blame the victim mentality. In response, women began marching in the streets, often dressed provocatively, in an effort to reclaim the term slut and assert that being in control of one's own sexuality does not make someone responsible for experiencing sexual violence. The message of the SlutWalk was clear. No one should equate enjoying sex with attracting sexual assault. The movement began in Toronto but has since spread to cities around the world. 4. Peru's flag cleaning. In the year 2000, Peru faced controversy when Alberto Fujimori was elected as the president for a second term. Many citizens were outraged by his abuse of power and use of violence against opponents. In response, a group of Peruvian women decided to take action by gathering in Lima's main plaza to clean the national flag, symbolically washing away the dirt of corrupt politics. This peaceful protest continued for several months before a video surfaced showing an ally of Fujimori bribing a legislature. This event led to Fujimori's resignation as president and eventual imprisonment. The flag cleaning protest played a significant role in bringing about this change. 3. Don't wear fur protest. PETA, an international animal rights organization, is known for its bold and unconventional tactics to raise awareness about animal welfare. One of their most memorable campaigns was the "I'd rather go naked than wear fur" campaign. This campaign featured protesters marching in public spaces, holding signs and carrying simulated skinned animals covered in fake blood. The purpose of this campaign was to shock and disgust people, and to make them think twice about using animal fur for fashion. The message behind the campaign was that true luxury should not come at the expense of animal suffering. The campaign was highly effective in raising awareness about the inhumane treatment of animals in the fur industry. It also sent a message to the fashion industry that consumers are becoming more conscious of ethical implications of their purchases. PETA's campaign was a powerful reminder that animals should not be used for human vanity or profit. It also encouraged people to consider alternative materials for clothing and accessories, such as synthetic fur or faux fur. The campaign was a huge success and continues to be an iconic movement in the animal rights community. 2. Kissing protest. On September 1st, 2011, a group of college students in Santiago, Chile decided to employ a unique form of protest against the rising cost of education and lower academic standards. Over 100 students gathered in front of the Metropolitan Cathedral, where they engaged in a mass kissing demonstration, drawing the attention of onlookers. The students' action was a peaceful form of dissent, in contrast to the violent protests that had taken place earlier. One couple held a sign that read, "Love is free, education isn't," emphasizing the point of their protest. As a result of this and other actions, a new education fund was proposed and interest rates on student loans were reduced from 6 to 2%. However, despite these measures, many protesters felt that it was not enough to address their concerns. 1. Underwear protest. In 2012, a group of students from Quebec, Canada decided to take an unconventional approach to protest against proposed tuition fee increases. This demonstration, which was sparked by a strike that had been ongoing for several months, saw 193,000 students participating. It became one of the largest and longest-lasting student protests in Canadian history, with a peak attendance of 250,000 people in Montreal. One of the most striking elements of the protest was the participation of students who stripped down to their underwear. This bold move was intended to grab the attention of the government and law enforcement officials, as well as challenge the mayor's stance on protesters wearing masks. Although the demonstration had a playful tone, the Montreal police force reminded protesters via Twitter that public nudity is illegal. Despite the opposition, the proposed tuition fee hikes were eventually put on hold. While these protests may be seen as extreme or unusual, they're a reminder of how powerful the human spirit can be when standing up for what is right. It's also a reminder that we must always strive to use our collective voice for good in the world. Have you been part of any protests? Let us know in the comments, then check out this next Top 10 video.